So this was a game I played, and I'm black. So this is standard, right? You meet the pawn right there. And then he attacks my pawn. And I protect my pawn. So far, I'm doing well. And so this is a 3 knight and a pawn. Apparently, there's a name for this. I don't know what it's called. So then, watch this. I play this. I think to set this up, you need one more pawn. Maybe move the pawn here. I don't remember. Basically, I'm not doing this completely well. Let's just say it that way. I kind of give away a pawn, you see? Yeah. This part was not good. I give away another pawn, you see? Because I tried to take the center, attack him, but that gives him this. You see that? So I gave away 2 pawns in the opening. It made my opponent think that I was some idiot, basically. So now I move this pawn up to put pressure on him. He moves here, which is not a good move. Let's see what he could have done. So, oh, he should have gone there. I see. So let's see what I could have done. And that's exactly what I do. See, I play a move that the computer agrees with for the first time. Good job me, right? I'm getting better. So now he decides to attack my knight and my bishop, which is a really bad move because I can now attack him. I can now take him. So I take him. Free knight. So at this point, look at that. See? At this point, the computer thinks I'm going to win. So then he puts the queen to check me, which is not a good thing to do. He hasn't developed any of his other pieces. So I just put the bishop there. I could have put the pawn there, but then I realized, you know what? Let's just use the bishop. Give him an incentive to do something more rash, so to speak. So he moves his queen back. I move my knight here. I don't remember why. I think, again, to try to bait him. Because, again, he did a few rash things. Basically, I was like, hey, try to get me. Hoping he wouldn't see that I could take him back. So the computer is thinking with its algorithm, this is what would happen. I would develop my queen. I would also put a pawn up there to protect the knight. But that's not what happened. So I do that. He doesn't take the bait. Instead, he does something else. He decides to check me there. So I just put my pawn up there. Again, just to block him, right? This is called, I think this is called connected pawns, I believe. He's not going to be able to get through this wall right now. So he moves up his bishop. He tries to develop his bishop. Again, sort of putting pressure on my knight. But I'm not scared of that. I guess he's thinking he can bait me to try to move it here so he can take me for free. So that's exactly what happens, you see, because now there's a dangling knight here. So he probably should have moved the pawn up. 1, to stop my pawn, but 2, to protect his knight. So it's very bad, exactly. So that's what the computer said I should have done. And that's exactly what I do. So he castles, right, because he needs more attacking pieces because this is blocked and this is sort of trapped too. So I moved the knight up, double the knight, and to protect this pawn. So now he moves this back, allowing it to control more squares because here he's not controlling anything. So here he controls this diagonal, right, and this diagonal. I move this pawn up to tell the queen to F off. He moves here. So then I move this pawn up here. I form a little pawn wall, I believe it's called, because I have my rook protecting this. This is why this rook here on A1 is actually really, really helpful. Did I say A1? Sorry, A8 is actually really, really helpful. So he now moves here, right? I'm just developing my pieces while this queen's just kind of moving around. So I move this. The computer doesn't understand why I'm trying to bait him to take me because I know he's done rash things. But apparently, according to the computer, I could have gotten a bishop. Ooh, look at how far the computer thinks in advance. Look at this. So I missed an opportunity to get a bishop, basically. So this is another analysis the computer has. Interesting, of basically how I could develop my rook more and kick his... Ooh, that's interesting. So that sequence of moves would have won me a bishop in that exchange. That's interesting. Okay, but that's not what happens. So I try to bait him. He doesn't take the bait. He ups a pawn. So I move my queen here. And so then he moves this pawn, unfortunately making his king weaker to threaten my knight. So then I put this over here. According to him, I would have eventually lost a knight with that exchange. So this is what I should have done better. Oh, I would have won a bishop in that exchange. Wow. Okay, I see. Man, I love these analyses. So let's just look at that again. I see. I see what's going on. I sort of do something similar, not as good as this, but I'll show you what I do. So that was not the best move according to our computer, but I thought, you know what, because I'm being protected by the queen. So he moves this pawn up, which is not the right thing to do. Now his king is really vulnerable. So this was my brilliant. This was the brilliant thing I learned. I have to give a shout out to Turkish Films Chess for giving me this thought. So my knight is blocking my bishop from directly threatening the queen. However, I'm still attacking. If you think ahead, I'm eventually going to attack the queen. And so what I did here is called a revealed attack. This is, I think, the first time I've ever consciously done a revealed attack. My knight's being protected by my pawn. He can't take this because I'm being protected by my king or my rook. I'd probably take him with the rook. So he needs to get the F out of here. Maybe move up here or do something, right? Actually, he can't move up here because then I take him with the pawn. So he needs to get the F out of there because he's not seeing this diagonal. He's not even seeing that I'm attacking him. So check out what he does. He moves this pawn up, not really understanding that, oops, Jerry takes your queen. So at this point, it's very close to endgame. In fact, it is endgame. So he tries to threaten my knight. Not scared of that. I move my knight there, right? I'm going to start attacking the king, but also I'm threatening this bishop. I'm being protected by my queen. So, okay, that's good play on him. He needs to remove my threat, so he sacrifices his bishop in this trade. So here, I don't play the endgame too well. I could have mated really quickly, but we'll see. So he moves his king. Very, very bad move. So let's see what he could have done. So, oh, okay, well, basically, I would have mated him like that because of that. But that's not what I do. I castle because I want to attack with more pieces. Not the worst thing to do either. But again, I could have spotted the endgame checkmate already. I didn't need to castle. This just gives him more to kind of do. So he puts a pawn out. I'm going to take the pawn. He sort of gives away a pawn. Now he's threatening my bishop, but not really because I got a pawn here. So this, okay, let's see how the computer says I should have checkmated. That would have been my checkmate right there. So I missed a checkmate right there. If I put my queen right there, I would have checkmated him immediately. So I missed that checkmate, unfortunately. I moved my rook there. So he decides to take my pawn, which then, again, I missed an opportunity to checkmate. I know. I missed an opportunity to checkmate. Yes, I know. So these are other ways I could have checkmated, right? But I missed it. It's fine. So he moves his rook out. I don't know why. So now I move my bishop out there to try to take his rook. Again, I know I missed an opportunity to checkmate. I know. That's what the computer says. So now he moves here. Not the smartest thing to do. Again, I'm not thinking about endgame right now. In fact, if I gone here, right? If I went here, that would have been checkmate. Exactly. I did not see the checkmate. It's hilarious. I did not see the checkmate. That is just hilarious. So, anyways. So I went here. I should have gone there. It would have been checkmate. I go here and also threaten more pieces. I'm not thinking of checkmate. So I take a bishop, forking him, and he takes my knight. Very smart. So I take this pawn right here. Right, I take this pawn, get more pieces into the action. So he ups this So here's what I should have done. That would have been checkmate. That would have been checkmate. But I don't do that, okay? I take a rook. He takes my rook. I take his rook. There's fewer pieces on the board. I can think about the endgame. Guys, I'm a beginner, okay? If this were a more advanced match, I would have made it quicker. But I need to get more of his pieces off the board before I could think about endgame. It's fine. I'm a beginner. Not being harsh on myself. Now I know it's time to get him. So he moves his king, right? He's preparing. And that is checkmate. That is checkmate. Basically, he had nothing else to do. Because again, look at my bishop here. I'm cutting off his ability to go south, from my perspective. And then I got a bishop here, and I got a queen here. So I'm cutting off his ability to go this way. So basically, all I need to do is here, right? I'm being protected by my bishop. Now I'm cutting off any direction he can go. He's being blocked here by his own pawn, but it wouldn't have mattered because I would have attacked here too. So that was my game. Again, I did something wrong in the initial, right? I was trying to play an opening that I saw one of my teachers, Turkish film chess, play, but I blundered, and I blundered again. So I gave away 2 pawns. But again, I know enough tactics now that it's not lost just because I blundered 2 pawns, right? Good life lesson. It's not over until it's over, man. Okay, guys. Talk to you soon. This was JerryCricket.